DNVR Broncos Live, presented by DraftKings Sportsbook, and coming to you live from Studio A at the DNVR Bar, where the A stands for agency.
1 week away, baby.
1 week away.
And for some teams, it's already getting rocking and rolling. Goodbye, Derek Carr. Go be the best quarterback in another division.
Yeah, I was thinking, like, I don't have to hate Derek Carr anymore.
No.
It's kind of nice.
Yeah.
But then I was like, I don't know if I can unhate someone.
Man, the way he was kicked to the curb by the Raiders and Josh, there's kind of a bond there,
The enemy
right?
of my enemy is my friend.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
the thing. That's it, because I think he hates the Raiders.
And
I
you
know.
kind of get
Well,
lost. I think he hates
McDaniels.
Josh McDaniels, right? And
Who is
right
the
now,
Raiders?
that's the Raiders for right now. And now you can kind of get lost in his eyeshadow now.
That's
Fair
the
enough.
other downside.
I think the only way I could truly like erase my feelings about him is if he was the Broncos quarterback.
Oh, right away? Does that go away right away?
But then I was thinking, like, I hate to bring this up, but why do the Broncos keep employing the people who have just hurt us the most? Like, first it was Joe Flacco. That's a lot of people's most painful moment as a Broncos fan.
Yeah.
And then it's Russell Wilson.
Yeah, it's very true.
That's my most painful moment as a Broncos fan.
It's very true. Do you remember when Joe Flacco was introduced to the Denver media and then did a scrum off to the side and someone asked him, so Joe, what's your favorite memory about playing against the Broncos? And he kind of looks at the reporter and is like, really? You need me to say it?
So awkward. So awkward.
Yeah.
He was huge. That's what I remember about that side
Oh,
scrum.
man, he is big dude. No
I was
wonder
just
John
like-
Elway liked him. I mean, he has all the physical attributes you want. So who would be the next one that they would sign, specifically at the quarterback position? Would be Mahomes?
Yeah.
Well, or is that just too obvious? Would it be Tom Brady?
I guess that could work, yeah.
Yeah.
Tom Brady hasn't really hurt us.
I'm trying to think of like a not lower level quarterback, but like, of course, Patrick Mahomes. But like, who would be someone that's got the Broncos in like a way that you're like, damn, that one really hurt? Not just like, oh yeah, he's just destroyed him every time he's played him.
I mean, the thing about Flacco is he did it in a year where we all think they would have won the Super Bowl if he hadn't.
Right,
So
right.
that's like a tough dynamic
I
where
don't
it's like
think
he
there's really
took a Super Bowl.
Any active players
Exactly.
that have hurt the Broncos in that way other than Russell Wilson and Joe Flacco.
Andrew Luck, he beat him in the playoffs.
Yeah.
That would be a surprising
Yeah.
one.
It wasn't that painful though.
No.
It wasn't
didn't
that
feel pain.
painful because at least in my perception, I'd kind of already looked past that game, unfortunately, just like the Broncos coaches had.
Yeah, it was just like, okay, finally, like Foxy's gone.
Right.
So that was like kind of a dub.
Yeah. And also Jack Del Rio went out with the swing.
Yeah. Glad he's not around anymore.
Yeah, that's for
I think
sure.
everybody is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. Anyways, Derek Carr. So Derek Carr, first domino, and I wonder if that precedes the next domino, which everyone thought was going to be the first domino, which is Aaron Rodgers. Because it came out yesterday that Derek Carr had the Jets as his number one, but he had to wait to see what was going to happen with Aaron Rodgers. So does that mean Aaron Rodgers to the Jets is all but a done deal?
Well, we thought that last year with the
Yeah.
Broncos at a time specifically, and then that didn't go through. It does seem like this year really does seem like Aaron Rodgers is finally, officially done with the Green Bay Packers, and it seems like the Green Bay Packers are really done with him, and all things do point to him going there, except we talked about the Raiders. That's the one team that I could see getting in the way of this, and a big reason is Devontae Adams.
Yeah.
And like brand new facilities, brand new stadium.
Third
all that.
overall NFLPA report card.
Did you see that Aaron Rodgers was in Colorado recently?
Was he?
Yeah.
This is a hilarious. So there's a TMZ article that was like, Aaron Rodgers leaves darkness retreat, hits trendy Colorado bar. And I was like, huh. Happy camper.
That'd be trendy, yeah.
Like, I was just trying to think of it, and then I clicked on it. I didn't recognize any of the imagery, and I was like, where is this place? And it was like, Aaron Rodgers went to Vail to trendy bar known as the Rabbit's Retreat. Find the Bunnies or some like weird.
my
This is the
gosh.
weirdest fucking name I've ever heard.
So you're like, it's perfect. It makes a lot perfect sense.
Like,
I
how
really-
can you be darkness retreat guy who like disappears and like wants to live in nothingness and like act like he's like he has nothing. And like, oh yeah, on my way home, I'm gonna stop in Vail for the weekend. Like that is the most like
It's
180 flip there.
Yeah,
called
that's a good point.
The Rabbit Hole at Chasing Rabbits Tavern.
Wow.
Can't say I've heard of that one.
It sounds like a perfect match for him.
It does.
Can we just have no more Aaron Rodgers talk? I
don't know. We were
I'm
talking
so
about some
sick of
things
it.
before this podcast that made Aaron Rodgers talk seem appealing.
Yeah.
I'm lost.
Yeah. That's not surprising at all.
Man, is there an NFC team that Aaron Rodgers could go to? No more.
The Packers.
No more good
apparently-
quarterbacks in the AFC. I mean, what are we doing here?
Apparently, the Packers don't want to trade him.
Yeah.
In the NFC.
I hope not. Like at all in the NFC.
Yeah.
I hope not.
Why?
Because he's good enough. I mean, he's not great, but like, or no, I hope they
Yeah.
do. Yeah, I hope that's wrong. I
Right.
hope not. Yeah.
Right. Why wouldn't? I don't know. Why wouldn't the Bucks want him? Apparently, the Bucks are just cool with going with Kyle Trask.
They must just be doing like the full rebuild, right? I mean, you see what's going on with the Rams right now. Holy cow! Aaron Donald's not going to be on that team next year, is he?
I don't know.
They're moving on from everyone
He should
right
just
now.
retire.
Leonard Floyd, a guy that they're going to move on from. Broncos
Allen
had
Robinson.
strong interest in him 2 years ago. Broncos may want a pass rusher again.
That was crazy that they got Allen Robinson and then just never gave him the ball.
Yeah.
There was
Yeah.
some stat today that said like he was more open like on a per snap basis last year than he was in 2020 when he had like 1,400 yards.
Wow.
Also, don't get Allen Robinson. That guy's so overrated.
I agree with that as well.
Yep.
Although the stat you just said would show
would.
that he's not overrated.
It would say
maybe.
he's a value, but I'm
Because
not the
Matt
only one with
Stafford
Twitter.
Only has eyes for Cooper Kupp.
As
mean
he
he's
should.
overrated.
And then Baker Mayfield. And then who
Ugh.
else was in there? Didn't they have like three
John
or four
Wolford?
quarterbacks? Yeah, they had a couple.
Yeah.
Bryce Perkins.
yeah.
There's also the Derrick Henry thing today
Oh yeah.
that he's potentially available for trade. He'd be
Let me guess. You want that?
no like in a world where the Broncos have draft picks.
Your boy wants
sure,
it.
we could talk about. But I mean, 1 year, $10 million deal. Like I don't know. When you have a running back like him or like Saquon, like he could just carry you to the playoffs.
Wait, what is he being traded for? Because I think the Broncos could trade for him.
1 year on. I mean, they probably could. Like I would guess a third. Both the thirds would probably do it. But
think
there's just
one
no
of
way
the
I'm
thirds
considering it.
No.
The thing is, it's a 1 year deal, and it's a value 1 year deal. But it's
Exactly.
1 year.
So it's value. I mean, at least a second, if not a first.
Yeah,
No
I think
shot.
2/3
Yeah.
second.
Yeah.
You're in the ballpark.
Isn't he
Um,
like 30?
He'll be 29 this season.
Yeah.
It's Derrick freaking Henry.
Oh, I know.
And he's
but he's
built
more
different.
he's more valuable in the hand than he is in the bush.
He how about him with the Bills? Good luck stopping in an read option. You get to either choose Josh Allen to tackle or Derrick Henry to
Gonna be
tackle.
the cold tubs
Oh
are gonna be
my
busy
god!
after
that. Yep. I mean,
Third round pick. Get it done.
Oh, I'd do it in a heartbeat. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, me too.
Easy.
you'd probably have to.
You don't seem that sold.
I
on
mean,
it.
for a third, you do it. I mean, I would love to see them like throw an offer at Saquon first, throw something at somebody else first.
Of course, you would love to see
I wonder
them
if the
throw something
Broncos
at
are
Saquon.
like
Yeah, I
me
mean-
in Madden when I trade my first and second round pick, then I'm just like, dude, I don't even want to go to the draft. Let me just
Wow.
trade all the rest of my picks. That's
Yeah,
what they
yeah,
should do.
yeah, it's so
Yeah.
true. Okay, wait. Question for you guys.
Yep.
Would you rather give $15 million a year to Saquon Barkley in free agency for what, 4 years? 15 million, 45 guaranteed. You're locked in for
So
3 years,
easy.
or you trade a third round pick for Saquon Barkley
you
or
mean
for
for
Derrick
Derrick?
Henry.
So easily Derrick Henry.
Not even close. I agree.
and,
Right?
Really?
and I would maybe even trade both thirds. Sure.
You know what? Just take the rest
Yeah.
of my picks.
Yeah, for 15 million, no. Like if it was in the 12 million range, then I'd probably go
Isn't
Saquon.
Saquon turning down 12 and 13 million dollar offers? So then why do you think you're going to get him for that?
I don't.
Oh, okay.
But that's why, I mean, you'd probably have to go Derrick Henry. Again, like it's 1 year, it'd be awesome. Again, like you get either of those guys. Again, like Saquon just carried the Giants to the playoffs. They had no business going to the playoffs except for having Saquon. Derrick Henry's carried the Titans, who have had some better teams, to like we all saw that
The
stretch.
AFC Championship game.
Championship game, double-digit wins over and over again. Like if you can get a guy like that who can single-handedly fix your offense,
Well,
why not?
And he also single-handedly fixed Ryan Tannehill.
He did.
Yeah,
He really
and Saquon
did.
fixed Daniel Jones.
Yeah, and so
Is it
True.
Fix Russell Wilson.
Oh man,
Like,
that would
if
be beautiful.
Andre and I always talked about with Ryan Tannehill, all the Titans were asking him to do is make layups and hit threes.
Yep.
And hit open threes.
Yep.
And that's what you do, right? You hand the ball off to Derrick Henry, and he, plows his way for 4 yards a carry, and then you suck 8 into the box, and then you ask Russell Wilson, hey, all you got to do is come off this play action fake and hit a deep ball.
Yep.
And he's like, oh, I'm really good at that.
Yep.
And then it's like, oh, and then also, we just need you to hit like an open slant because there's space there. Like,
Is that what the Broncos want Russell Wilson to do?
yeah, threes and layups.
Yes, exactly.
I like this.
Let's make this happen, baby. We came into this pod with one conversation, and this one's better than any of the conversations we're gonna have today.
so much better.
I love it.
Oh man,
For a third, you have to.
I just don't think that it would be a third.
Imagine
I don't
Derrick
either.
Henry in the all blues.
Oh my gosh. It literally him in anything.
I
Anything.
know. I'm just like seeing it's like a Sunday night football game. They've got
Yeah.
the all blues on.
How about those white jerseys, blue pants?
No.
This has to be an easy selling point for Sean, too. He wants to come in here and take Russell Wilson off the high dive. No better way to do it than to give him Derrick Henry.
Wow. Did you see the thing that came out? Actually, I shouldn't show my hand on this. Never mind.
Oh, what is it? What are you teasing?
I have a tweet that I want to build, but I'm just waiting for the right moment.
Okay. Don't worry.
Nobody's really like thrown out many guesses yet about what the trade would cost because nobody wants to look stupid when it actually happens. Except for one, the Draft Network said trading Henry for premium draft capital, a top 64 selection, could make sense. I mean, the Broncos have
first 2 rounds.
67 and 68.
Wow.
Like 67, throw in a fifth, and all of a sudden you're kind of right there.
This is so easy. You have to do it.
If I'm the Bills, I would give up
1 year, $10 million.
If I'm the Bills, I
Yeah.
give up my first round pick for him, though.
Well,
not
they're
if you
gonna
don't
do
have
that.
to. If you can give up your second round
What
pick.
if Bijan
then
Robinson's
obviously.
there? Cost controlled, get him for 4 years, high upside. I mean, I'm Derrick
not
Henry put you in a
Derrick.
window.
Yep.
Plus,
see-
I wonder what the comp pick would be. Because I would guess he still gets a decent contract, assuming he doesn't totally flop this year. Like, as a 30-year-old, he probably makes at least 2 years, 13 per.
Yeah.
I know that this is a trap, but did you see Jahmyr Gibbs doing that drill yesterday?
Yes.
My God, he looks so good.
He
He'd
does.
be a great little Bronco.
Like,
mean,
he was
he's
running over
fast,
those
too.
bags
Yep.
faster than obviously the average human could just run
Yep.
straight, but
Yep.
it just looked like he wasn't breaking stride at all. Then he did a little juke. I was like, oh my God, 4.36.
Yep. He's a beast.
Devon Akane, too. A little smaller, but just crazy fast and quick.
Yep.
And Jimmy,
I want
mean,
Deuce Vaughn in Denver.
The similar guy, yeah.
Jahmyr Gibbs really would have been like perfect because not only a great runner and the tangibles, I should say, but also the ability to receive out of the backfield. He's like the
literally
best.
Alvin Kamara
Yeah.
reincarnated. Went
He
to
is.
Alabama,
Yep.
didn't
Yep.
get playing
Yep.
time because there's so many other guys.
Yep.
Yeah.
Running backs are
Well, no,
fun.
opposite of Kamara. Kamara went to Alabama, then left, and Gibbs went
Stayed.
somewhere else and then went to
Right.
Alabama.
Fair enough. But he was like that. He wasn't like their feature every down back, was he?
He was their number one guy, but yeah, could split reps. Yeah.
Led the team in receptions.
Yep, exactly.
You know who doesn't
Sean
split
Payton.
reps?
Derrick Henry.
Derrick Henry. And
That's
then
the
you
thing, though,
you
yeah.
bridge the Javonte
my
Williams
gosh.
gap.
Yeah.
No
Perfect.
better person from Javonte to learn from either. Oh, could you imagine our guy Justin Outen, who just became the running backs coach and run game coordinator for Tennessee? He signs up for that job. He's like, yeah, baby, let's go. And then they're like, no, yeah, you got to work with backups now. Henry's
Wow.
gone.
Jeez,
He'd
I'm
be
hyped
sick.
about this.
That'd be tough. I am too. Let's just change this podcast.
Yeah,
just
change
pure
that.
Derrick Henry. But if the Broncos want to do moves like this, maybe they also want to sign Mike McGlinchey or McGarry for a big contract and then bring in also a Derrick Henry. That's $25 million per year right there. Plus, they're going to have to build out the rest of their roster. Right now, the Broncos have $12 million in cap space. We know the cap can be changed. It's going to be changed. They're going to be able to do things to move things around. But they're sitting with, I think, like just outside the top 10 in cap space. So $12 million, you're like, that's nothing. Well, it's actually, they're in a good position compared to other teams, but they can open up a lot more cap space by moving on from some guys. And that's kind of our conversation today. Let's take a look at the offensive guys that the Broncos can move on from in order to get some deals done. And where should we start? Should we start with head heavy hitter, the biggest name on here? Should we save that for the end?
Start with the heaviest of hitters.
The heaviest of hitters, Garett Bolles. Now, a name that's been thrown out this offseason by some people saying, trade rumors. But with Garett Bolles, the Broncos could just cut him straight up and save almost $10 million in cap space. You want Derrick Henry for $10 million? See you, Garett Bolles. There you go. You don't even have to dip into your cap space right there. It would cost them $8 million in dead money, and his cap hit's just under $18 million this year. Is there any thought of doing something with Garett?
Can't do it.
I wouldn't even consider it. I would consider a trade. I would consider a trade. In terms of a cut, because the thing is, then you need another tackle? What kind of tackle are you getting for $10 million? Worse than Garett Bolles, in my opinion.
Okay.
Much worse.
Because you both shut it down right away, let me just present something to you. How much is McGarry going to cost?
PFF says 13.
Okay.
I was going to say 15.
Okay, 13. And McGlinchey, I believe Spot Rack says 15.
Yeah.
So if you cut Garett Bolles and you sign McGarry, and let's say you somehow do get him for $13 million, that's only $3 million. You're only spending out of your pocket $3 million more to have McGarry on your team. So if you just want to make that
I
one
want
for
Bolles
one.
and Caleb McGarry.
Okay, so how about this? Would you prefer McGlinchey over Bolles? It's only if you sign McGarry and McGlinchey, it's only going to cost you the price of one tackle that you would go and sign, plus $3 million if you were to move on from Garett Bolles.
Damn, the Big Mac offensive line, McGarry. And McGlinchey. I'm
and
in
then
on that.
you just stuff it with a Henry,
Oh,
like in the middle. You know,
Yeah.
they're tackles. You stuff it in the middle.
I think if all the prices were the same, Bolles might be my favorite of the three. I think that he would be the one that I would take over the others. I think he just combined I know he missed a lot of time this year, but he's just been so healthy. Those other guys, McGlinchey we've talked about before, the scheme fit's a little bit strange. The pass protection's nothing great. McGarry has had one good year in his career. Like, there's a reason his fifth-year option was turned down. Like, I think I would take Bolles over either of those two straight up.
Try and follow me here. Caleb McGarry, Michigan, right? I believe so.
I don't know. That was
Mike
before my
McGlinchey,
time.
Notre Dame.
Yep.
Garett Bolles, JUCO, and then Utah. Do you see where I'm going with this?
Yeah, just the talent, how they've been evaluated?
No.
Okay. No.
Notre Dame. Big time academic institution, right?
Yep.
Yes.
it is.
Michigan.
Yep.
Big time academic institution.
Yep.
Now are you following
Yep.
my thread
I
here?
feel where you're going. Yeah.
I would like the
Really?
those guys.
I would too. I would like those as well because and something that you didn't mention, Henry, is how many good years has Garett Bolles had? I mean, you hold it against McGarry for only having one good year.
True.
Garett Bolles has only had one good year, and it was a very good year.
All pro.
But yeah, all pro. But that's when there were no fans, and
McGarry's from Washington.
okay, there were
Still
a good
my points.
institution.
My point wasn't really about where they went to college.
Yeah. Bolles only had one good year, and that was in a year where there were no fans. And what's something that a lot of people think is that home fans specifically get under Garett Bolles' skin, and it rattles him. And that was he didn't have to work against that. Then last year he comes back, and you see some more issues, and then he gets hurt. So I don't want to hold one kind of fluky injury
Broken
against him,
leg,
and that's not what I'm going to do. But you only have one good year from Garett Bolles. It's not like you're moving on from this proven, known commodity.
True.
So I'm for it. I would do it. Now, I agree with you guys, though. On the surface, I don't want to move on from Garett Bolles and then just sign one tackle to replace him, and you still have another issue at tackle. So you are really rolling the dice saying, we're going to move on from Garett and then get two of the top free agent tackles, maybe the two top free agent tackles if Orlando Brown doesn't hit the market. But if that's probably a dream world, or a lot of behind the scenes, I'd do it.
I don't know if that's gonna happen.
It's not going to happen.
So you keep Bolles.
It's too maddening.
Yeah.
You keep Bolles because I think he's made strides over the years. There's stuff like you're not getting the personal foul stuff out of Garett Bolles anymore. I think honestly, all that time with Mike Munchak did go a long way with Garett Bolles. But in the end, the amount of money that you save on Garett Bolles is less than what you're going to have to spend to replace him if you even could replace him with a comparable player.
Okay,
That's the
now
thing, yep.
something just happened in live time, which probably makes this a little more of a conversation.
McGlinchey tagged?
No, the opposite. Orlando Brown will not be tagged. He will not get the franchise tag put on him, and unless the Chiefs are able to get a long-term deal done, which they have not been able to for 2 years now, he will be available. Now, do you kind of take into the equation, okay, you can save $10 million by moving on from Garett Bolles. Do you just want to upgrade one of your tackle positions so much, save $10 million from Bolles, and then you're not going to be able to get Orlando Brown and McGlinchey or McGarry, but you use that savings from Bolles, tack that on to what you would spend on a tackle, and boom, there's Orlando Brown, because he's going to cost you $23 million, maybe even more.
Orlando Brown's not a top 5 tackle. Like, he's the best tackle on the market. He's going to get paid a lot. There's only one player in the NFL who gave up more pressures than Orlando Brown this season, and it's Ed Ingram, the guard for Minnesota. And there's a lot that goes into that. You know, Mahomes holds the ball a long time, and there's some of those things. That is so much money. And again, like, part of it is me being a little bit trigger shy after Juwan James. Like, people forget, they gave $7 million in dead cap to Juwan James last season. Like, 2022, that was $7 million. And Orlando Brown, really good player. And if you could get him for $15 million, you do it in a heartbeat. Once you get into the bidding war, 21, 22, 23, you might come out on the other side saying, wow, we just found our Ryan Clady. But there is a lot of risk right there. And to me personally, I wouldn't give him more than the $21 million. And I'd be terrified doing it. I'd be shaking when I signed the deal.
I'd do it. Heartbeat. You have to invest in these positions. And
So you'd cut Bolles and sign him.
I don't think you have to.
He's your compliment to Bolles.
Yeah. I keep them both. I'm not anti-Garett Bolles. Let me just make that clear. The point that I was trying to make earlier is he's, not known necessarily for being a heady offensive lineman. And that has caused its issues in Denver for sure. And I think those other two guys are. With Orlando Brown, you're just getting a really, really good player, maybe a great player. And the Broncos have tried to dink and dunk around the tackle positions for too long, that if you have the opportunity to sign the best one on the market and you can do it, I want to do it.
Yeah, and it's just hard to say you shouldn't or wouldn't go after a top tackle. And to me, Henry, I think if you're willing to invest $20 million into a player, what's $3 million more going to do? So I think if you're willing to go $20 million, go $23 million. And you're right, he isn't an elite tackle. I think he has the potential to be that, but just the player he was, he isn't that. But he is, or Orlando Brown is a good tackle, and I would feel comfortable in a pretty big upgrade going from Brown to Bolles.
Although I forgot that the whole reason that he left Baltimore is because he didn't want to play right. Isn't that true?
Yep.
And so then he went.
Yeah.
If you're investing that, though, you're making him your left tackle, and you're saying Bolles move to right.
And there's a good chance Bolles is better. Like, you have to reteach all the footwork and do that sort of stuff. But, I mean, the holding stuff on the blind side, you're asking him to do what he's best at more, which is just run block and bowl guys over on the edge.
What I would say about this is that we've talked about that since Garett Bolles got to Denver, and the Broncos have never been willing to do it.
Yep.
It's true.
Now, totally different regime. Maybe Sean Payton just says, like, yeah, you should play right tackle.
Yeah.
And then you're paying a lot for a left tackle. In Brown, you're on the very high side of right tackle, but you've invested a lot in your tackle positions, and you assume that that's going to pay off for you in terms of the play on the field. Like, the upgrade from Cam Fleming at right tackle to Garett Bolles should be monstrous.
Yeah, it really should be. Man, I love this first segment. The Broncos have moved Garett Bolles to right tackle, signed Orlando Brown, and now they have Derrick Henry as well. Some people might say we're smoking too much weed, and then our response would be, check out Jive Hive because they're going to deliver it right to you. They'd come here right now. We don't even have to leave the set to get them, and you can check them out, see every place they're delivering by going to jivehive.com. That's JIVEHYVE.com. Or if you're watching on YouTube, just scan that QR code. It's going to take you right there. And over at Jive Hive, not only is it convenient where they deliver the product straight to you, but it's going to be more affordable because they don't have to pay for the brick and mortar stores since they don't have those. They bring it straight to you. So it's convenient, it's cheap, and you don't have to worry. It's private. You don't have to worry about bumping into anyone at the store if you don't want to see them. So it's only upsides at Jive Hive right now. They're delivering to Aurora, Greenwood Village, Monument, Fountain, and various areas of El Paso County, but they continue to grow. So make sure to check out their website to see if they've expanded to your area. That's JIVEHYVE.com.
And also check out our friends over at Breckenridge Brewery. And they've got another giveaway going. We've given away the Avs tickets, yep, but we still have the Nuggets tickets to give away. That game is March 30th. It's against the Pelicans, and it's courtside row 2 seats, Club Lexus access, parking pass, all that sort of stuff. Plus, you get a bunch of DNVR gear. And again, like you can get in on that if you go to brecksweeps.com. You have to be 21 or older. You just got to go fill out that form, though, and there's a chance that you'll win those awesome seats to that game, which should be a good one, I think. But go over to the DNVR.com/brecksweeps. Go over to breckbrew.com to figure out where you can buy Breckenridge Brewery near you.
There we go. And if you're tuning in with us live on YouTube, hit us with a thumbs up. We'd really appreciate it. And there's something else that you guys can do to help us out for free. Anyone tuning in, whether it's on the podcast side, whether it's on YouTube, go subscribe to our podcast on the podcast side. Really helps us. And which one? Should they go to Spotify? Should they go to Apple? What do you think?
Well, Spotify is now just 100 reviews behind Apple.
Wow.
They started, I think, 300 reviews behind Apple, and it's a race to 1,000. Apple is at 850. Spotify is at 750. Let's see who can get to 1,000 first.
I love it. I love it. So we'd really appreciate that. Helps us out a ton. And, of course, hit us with the thumbs up on YouTube.
All right, I have to clarify because people keep putting it in the comments. Are you calling Bolles dumb? No, I'm not calling Garett Bolles dumb. I'm saying that he has had struggles with understanding certain aspects of the offense. I mean, I guess I can just put it this way. When Dalton Reisner was a rookie, it was reported that he is helping Garett Bolles in terms of understanding the assignment on a play-to-play basis. So
I believe one of those guys actually just said that, too. I don't remember if it was Dalton or Bolles, but admitted that.
Right, like helping out a lot
Yeah.
in terms of the assignment. So it just... a lot of times your left tackle is understands the offense the best of anyone other than the quarterback, you know?
Yeah.
And so that could be big for the Broncos to have that type of player. Also, I just remembered, wasn't Orlando Brown the one who had like an embarrassingly bad combine?
Yep, exactly. From Oklahoma.
Wow.
And that's why he fell.
That is crazy to think about.
Yeah.
Now he's like being considered a top tackle. Back then, he was literally like the laughing stock of the combine.
Everyone felt bad. I shouldn't say everyone. A lot of people felt bad for him.
Yeah, like why did he even participate?
Yep.
He was like weak in the bench press, slow, looked bad on the field. It's kind of crazy to think about.
Yeah, it is. And what was that, 5 years ago?
Yep.
Yeah, that is crazy. Okay, so more opportunity for the Broncos to open up cap space on the offensive line. Graham Glasgow. $14 million cap hit. Could save $11 million. Dead money, only $3 million. I'm not even going to present you guys the option whether to cut or to keep him because the answer is going to be you cut him. But, right? No pushback?
Yes.
No, yeah,
But
it's easy.
what would the sweet spot be? Or is there a sweet spot where you say, okay, we'll bring you back for X amount of dollars instead of just cutting you, letting you go? They're going to eat at least $3 million if they move on from him. So do you just say, I want to free up $11 million, see you, Graham? Or do you say, what's the sweet spot?
I mean, it's almost as if the sweet spot is like insulting. Like 3?
So you say you're either gone or you're playing, but you're making the same amount of money, essentially?
Yeah, so I don't know. It's hard. This one's tough. I think in the end, it's probably just going to make sense for both parties to move on. The only way I would really be interested in bringing Graham back is to play center. And that's another thing that the Broncos have never shown an interest in doing. Again, new coaching staff. Maybe they've always seen him as a center when they scouted him in free agency or the draft. And so they could make that move. But it doesn't really make sense to me in any other fashion other than to come back and play center.
And he did take a pay cut last year, though, and took that salary down to 3.1. So he took home 3.1 last year.
Oh, wow.
So, I mean, if he might be willing to do that again. And to be honest, he also might have just outplayed that. He might think that there's more out there for him. Wouldn't be the craziest thing in the world. Just going through, like, it doesn't seem like there was a difference between, like, level of play between center and guard. But having a swing backup like that for $3 million, it probably means you aren't drafting a guy, maybe, and you'd rather have a third rounder to potentially take one of those jobs. But I don't hate the idea of having Graham Glasgow as your backup center with maybe a pretty quick trigger to put him in over Lloyd Cushenberry. Also your backup guard in case somebody gets hurt. I would be tempted, but it does seem like the easy answer is just let him go, start fresh.
Yeah,
I was just going to say, you said backup Lloyd Cushenberry, and I have an issue with that.
About Lloyd?
Yes.
Can we hold that for a second?
Yes.
With Graham, I am trying to bring him back, trying to get him for $4 million. I might be willing to go up to $5 million for him. And the reason is...
More than last year?
More than last year is because what I'm doing, you're not a guard. You're our center. Okay. And then I feel good about my center for this year. I still try to draft a center. And if you get a guy in the third round and he's Creed Humphrey and he comes in, he's great. Well, then Graham, then you're a good backup for 1 year. Then bye-bye. But I just think Graham you feel good about him at center, at least for one more year, and then you're just not opening up a hole on your offensive line when I think you're already going to have a couple of holes to fill. So that's why I'd be willing to go up to $5 million. Like Henry said, I think he did outplay his contract when he moved over to center last year, so that's why I'm willing to go up to $5 million. Not more than that, because then you can find a good enough replacement.
And they did keep Lloyd on the IR when they could have activated him because Graham was the starting center. And I think if they wanted Lloyd over Graham, they probably say, well, we're going to go get a starting center back.
So speaking of Lloyd Cushenberry, so that's $11 million if you just move on from him. In my scenario, I'm still opening up $8 million there. So there's going to be massive savings with Graham somewhere. But Lloyd Cushenberry, you've now both talked about him. He's still on a rookie deal, so you're like, you don't even really think about moving on from him. But then you look, $3 million cap hit. Dead money, only $237,000. So you save nearly $2.8 million. And the way Lloyd has been talked about, you just mentioned it. The last coaching staff decided just to keep him on IR. Ryan, I think you're about to say how you don't even want him.
You cannot go into next season with Lloyd Cushenberry as your starting center. Just not an option. It's not an option. He's a certainly bottom 10 center in the NFL as a starter, and I would probably say bottom 5. So I don't know how this has gone on this long, but I thought this year was the year where they were going to have a short leash on him, and he kept going. So it's time to move on, figure something else out, and stop this.
Yeah, and Jose in the comment section saying trade Cush for a day 3 pick. It's probably a 7th round pick if you're able to get anything back. But George loves 7th round picks. If you can do that and you're saving 2.8 in the process, those things do add up.
Yeah.
And the flip side of that, though, is he was your most efficient pass blocker among any player at any position who played more than 20 snaps. The issue is that he doesn't get much push. And I do think that if you just put the combination of him and Reisner next to each other just means that you're not doing much on that side of the line. Like in the run game, you're just not opening much up. So I don't think you have to move on from him.
That's 40% of your offensive line that you just said you're not doing much with.
I know, but I do. The thing is, I think if you upgrade the guard, then all of a sudden, because we'll see what exactly Sean Payton wants to do, but when you're mostly just running double teams as you would in that wide zone scheme, having one of your guys be a little bit weaker isn't that big of a deal. I do think that you have to change one of Reisner or Cushenberry, though. And I guess there were a couple games where we got to see Cushenberry with Glasgow. And in hindsight, now I'm kind of curious to see how that would have gone. But I guess Glasgow might have been filling in for Miners.
This is another situation though where like you need your center to be a like wily, smart, heady player, and I've never seen those types of things. Like obviously this is the top of the top, but like you've never seen Cushenberry do like Jason Kelsey like things, where he's calling out protections or communicating at like the highest level with the guys next to him. And so again, this is not calling Lloyd dumb. It's like you want super high football IQ center, especially when we've learned that Russ isn't necessarily that guy. I thought Russ was that guy.
Right.
To go to the line and check everything and see what's going on. He's not. So if you could get a center who is calling out protections, seeing things, hey, alert on this side, let's slide that way. Like that was one of the most shocking things that we didn't get from Russ. And it was also going back to the Drew Lock era, a problem there too, because you had two really young guys, and neither of them were seeing things at the level you needed to. Well, guess what? Last year, same problem, which we thought Russ was going to fix, but he did not. So now I want a center who is going to be almost the brains of the offense and stand up there and say, okay, here's what we're doing, guys. Here, make sure you're looking at this, et cetera, et cetera. Sadly, Russ needs that because he wasn't calling it out last year.
You know what the bummer of that is, Ryan? Is that's what Lloyd was supposed to be good at. When he was coming out of college, he was he had the knocks of needing to be stronger, to be able to be better and not be pushed around as much. He's still been pushed around in the NFL, but he was supposed to be that. And in the offseason, I mean, Russ was even at every offseason, people have gushed just about Lloyd's off the field, just brilliance. And I agree. Last year, clearly, Russ needed that, and it didn't seem like you were getting it. It did seem like you got that more from a veteran in Graham.
I want to know what the center's voice sounds like because I can hear them on the field mics all game long.
And I think one thing is a new offensive line coach. I wonder if that kind of unlocks it. But also, I talked to Quinn about this at the end of the season. Quinn Miners, not Quinn Bailey. Just probably assumed, but then I realized. But I was talking to Quinn Miners about this.
Quinn 99.
I was not talking about Quinn 99.
Quinn 92.
About Lloyd
What
Cushenberry.
year were you born, Ryan?
Wow.
That's his younger brother, bro.
But one of the things he said, like I asked him, like, do you feel like it's kind of time for you to step up and be a leader at this point? Because he's still only, 23? I think he's 23. He said, that's not really something that I've been in the past, but it is something that I do feel like now it's kind of my responsibility to talk. And he said, between me and Lloyd, like this is kind of our room now, and we need to step up and be those voices and be more dominant. And again, there's all that stuff about Lloyd, but I think if Lloyd Cushenberry was the center in Kansas City, for example, they would love him because all you're asking him to do is take a step back. Again, he is really good in pass protection. Those long arms, that strong base, nobody's getting by him. The problem is he's just not mobile enough to get upfield. He doesn't have a lot of strength when he gets his hands on anybody. So I do think that if you were to keep him around, I don't know how much of it is not being capable versus not being empowered to be that guy. And that's all just a total guess. But I think there's worse things you could do than go back with Lloyd Cushenberry. I do think, though, that you need to find a way to get that run game going, and replacing him is a pretty easy step in doing that.
Speaking of the run game, I think this next one's very easy, so I'm not even going to ask the question just like with
Can I
Graham.
just quickly on center?
Yes, yeah.
The Cardinals are expected to release Rodney Hudson.
Yep.
Now, it sounds like he might retire.
Yeah.
But that is a guy who's like would be the brains of the operation.
Yep.
And you could bring him in, and I think he was a big help at that position for Kyler when he came in. So I would love that. But
Man.
he's also like 35.
I was going to say, didn't he think about retiring with the Raiders 2 years ago and then got traded to the Cardinals or signed a deal with them? And then the past 2 years has been thinking about retirement.
Yep.
I think I'm just saying just go stay in Arizona, just retire there, man.
The best right tackle the Broncos have had in years was a guy who was, I think, retired.
Yeah,
or was
it's
contemplating
true.
retirement.
It's true.
I just want someone who's been there, done that.
Yep.
In every situation.
It's fair. It's very fair.
Those are tough to find.
Chase Edmonds, nearly a $6 million cap hit, zero in dead money. You would save nearly $6 million. Again, Chase Edmonds is not going to be on the Broncos for $6 million this year. So what's the sweet spot, or is there a sweet spot?
That photo just gives me Eddie Royal
Oh,
nostalgia.
big time. Number 19.
Yeah.
Wow.
He looks like he's out in space.
The sweet spot is like 2.
Pretty much as high as I'm willing to go.
Really?
Yeah.
I think I'd probably go up to 3.
I don't know-
Maybe 3.5.
I don't know what the market is for Chase Edmonds.
And that's the tough part.
Remember, 2 years ago, in the 2021 season, Melvin Gordon was nearly a 1,000-yard rusher. And I know he had his fumbling issues, but then he went on the open market last year and got $2.5 million. How in
Yep.
the world is Chase Edmonds going to command more than a nearly 1,000-yard rusher than Melvin Gordon did last year? I know Chase is younger than him, but you're really talking about a 1-year prove-it deal for Chase, so you're not talking about a long-term investment. So I just don't know how you're paying any more money for him than you would be for Melvin.
The case for it is the role. The running backs who get paid now are the receiving backs. It's all the Alvin Kamara, or at least versatile.
He has a smaller role, though.
Yes.
He's going to have a way smaller role than what they thought Melvin Gordon was going to have. So I don't
Definitely.
think paying him to be a receiving back, you're going to be like, oh, we're just going to give you a lot more.
But you're not paying him on like the bell cow between the tackle scale. You're paying him on the receiving back scale. And that scale is just higher. And so if you're the same level of player, you're going to get more money being a third down back than you would being, Latavius Murray, who can take a bunch of carries. So that's the case.
But that's why
for
we
it.
said Latavius was like $1 million.
Exactly.
So you kind of double it for Edmonds.
That's one way to look at it.
Also,
but I do think
he did nothing last year.
Yeah, there was a couple flashes. I mean, there's just a couple times you see it and you're like, oh wow. Like what was it? Was it the last game where he caught the one ball up the middle and you see him catch it and running? It's like that's what he is. The point is he didn't do anything last year, and injuries were kind of the big reason. How much is a team willing to pay an injured back? I don't even know at this point. But he is only 12 months removed from being 2 years, $12 million. So there is a history there that would make you think that he is valuable. It's just tough to say how much this season's going to weigh him down.
On the flip side, though, Melvin Gordon was 1 year removed from a
Totally.
2-year, $16 million contract, and he got 2.5 last year. I guess what I don't want to do, and why we're kind of go back and forth in this, you're pretty much, in my opinion, I think you're just competing against yourself here. And so that's why I don't think you'd need to go more than 2.
I've already rebuilt the Broncos running back room in my head where it's Derrick Henry
Good.
and Deuce
Wow.
Vaughn.
Ah,
so
there we go.
Nothing else will do for me.
Nothing else will do for you?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, I
and
like
then
that.
Javonte just waiting in the wings.
Yep. So wait, what was your, what were you laughing at?
The comments.
Oh, it just...
No, that was funny actually. Someone said Cush spent more time in Russ's lap than his own kids.
Oh my gosh.
That was funny. But then there was a guy who just kept writing poop.
Poop, yep.
Yeah.
Over and over again.
That was actually funny to me. But then someone else said, "Admin, can you please take care of Poop Boy?"
Oh my gosh.
And that's what got me good.
Wow.
Yeah, that's pretty. Sometimes the comments can be very entertaining.
Yep.
Sometimes they throw me off. Okay, we got one more to talk about today, and boy, curious to hear both of your responses to this one. First, I gotta tell you about our friends over at DraftKings Sportsbook, because over at DraftKings Sportsbook you can get in on it all. What do we got for Jokic MVP odds right now, Henry? Last time we checked
Minus
in,
400.
Oh,
450
my
today?
Maybe it's minus
goodness.
400.
Because last week it was minus 380. So that ship has sailed. I have to imagine this means Nuggets championship odds are getting increasingly better. I think
Not
last
really.
week they were plus 800. I think this weekend they were like plus 760 maybe. Something around that. But when Ryan's looking that up, if you want to bet on the Nuggets and you don't want to have to wait till they win a championship, you can bet on them tonight. -6 against the Raptors at home, -230. Man, if you go the triple-double, do we know the triple-double plus a Nuggets win?
120.
No.
Oh, plus Nuggets win. I don't know that off the top of my head.
But a triple-double's -120?
Yeah, it is.
Oh, my. Yeah, I think it's like probably plus 100,
Nuggets
which
are
is
plus
just
750
insane.
to win the championship.
Plus 750. So you want to get in on that? Odds are slowly coming down. That may be where the money is at. You want to bet on Avs as well. Get in on that. They've got even worse odds to win a championship than the Nuggets.
Better for wait.
I always get confused. Worse for the better. So check them
Yep.
out. Check out our friends over at DraftKings Sportsbook. Use that promo code DNVR when you sign up. Bet $5. You're going to get $200 in bonus bets. Minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply. See show notes for details. Void no how. Gambling problem. Call 1-800-522-4700.
It's kind of sick that just like as a city we have the fourth highest odds to win the NBA championship and the second highest odds to win the NHL championship.
It is
I
way
parlayed
cool.
him in the summer, by the way.
I parlayed both to win the
Oh.
Western Conference, which I'm feeling really good about.
Oh, well, I was actually just going to dive into my DraftKings Sportsbook pick of the week right now. And Ryan, I'm doing exactly that. No, I'm diving in, and I actually did this earlier this week, but I'm diving in now to get these odds because I still think they're incredible. And I do like sprinkling a little on both of them to win the championship, parlay that. But what I love is just going the Nuggets to come out of the West and the Avs to come out of the West as well. And I believe you can get Nuggets plus 350 coming out of the West, so they don't even have to win the whole thing. Just get out of the West. And then if you put the Avs on there too, I'm pulling it up right now. You get the Avs on there, and you're looking at plus conference winner plus. Oh, okay. They're right around the same. So you parlay those two together, and you get good odds.
What'd you get?
I'm gonna add. I added the wrong one.
Okay.
So you guys give me yours.
Compared to mine, which I got before the season started at plus 2750.
For both of them.
Yep.
Okay, here we go. Now I got it. Avs are plus 275, plus 1587.
All right.
And
That's
what was
really
yours?
good.
24.
2750.
Oh
So-
man, almost double.
I had a free bet like a week ago, and I did those two. Parlayed with the Rockies to beat the Padres in the season series. It's 13 games. It's baseball. Like anything can happen. It was like
Terrible.
But it was
Wow.
like it's like 6-1 odds. Like they are so good early. I think they start the season with a 4-game series in San Diego. It's like if you go out there and somehow pull out 3 of 4, which
no,
probably
don't
won't-
do this to me.
But no. Just listen. So I had those two. I had that, and I threw in my DraftKings Sportsbook pick of the week. Sean Payton to win Coach of the Year. Everything kind of lines up perfectly. Like if he gets 11 wins. I think 11 wins probably does it for him after all the narratives. Everybody's talking about how bad Russ is. Like it's the narrative play, and it's like a fun Broncos pick. And so you do all that with a $10 free bet, you win $15,000. I was like,
Oh my gosh.
why not with a free bet? But DraftKings Sportsbook pick of the week, Sean Payton plus 1,200, second best odds to win Coach of the Year. I think that's a decent
That is
bet.
a good bet because if Russ is good at all, he's going to get all sorts of hype.
Yeah,
will.
he
Get
gets
tons
all
of
the credit. They won 5 games last year.
Man, it's sad that you put that Rockies bet in there. Else you had a decent chance.
Don't they? Didn't they win the season series against like the Dodgers or something last year? I think the thing is, again, it's baseball. It's
there's no
13 games. It's such a. It's a.
First series at Dodger Stadium in like about 10 years.
That's what it was. Yeah.
They honestly might have beat the Rockies. Like have a very good history against. The
Yeah,
Padres.
I think, and that's why I
So
was
you
like,
like it?
No,
You're
I
all
don't.
about it.
No, I
at
don't.
like 6-1 odds though.
They're gonna have 10% of their wins against the Padres.
Yeah, I mean it's possible, especially because they start the season against them. They always like every year the Rockies start like 10-2, and then they totally fall off the rest of the way.
Fradres.
Oh, there we go.
Wow.
Wait, so what's your pick of the week?
My pick of the week is Nikola Jokic to have a triple double tonight.
There we go. Minus 120.
Yeah.
5.
Minus 120. You can throw in the Nuggets to win, but they're like minus 285 to win.
Yeah.
So that's only going to bump it up a little bit. It's probably going to be plus 110.
There you go. Get plus odds.
There you
Man,
go.
it's crazy how
Yeah.
that feels like good juice. But that's our DraftKings Sportsbook pick of the week. Tell us about FOCO.
FOCO is awesome because they've got bobbleheads of all sorts of different guys. You can check out a couple of them behind us. But they also
Jokic.
have,
Russ.
Jokic, Russ,
Sean Payton, maybe.
Miles, the mascot. Ooh, they do need a Sean Payton. That'd be a good one. A couple
Visor.
different Terrell Davis bobbleheads. But yeah, I mean, they've got that different hats and the shoes and the socks and the pants you sleep in or the pants you... I guess it's mostly just sleep pants and like that sort of thing. I don't even know what you call it, like flannel pants.
Remember when it was like socially acceptable to wear pajama pants out in public?
It's not
I-
anymore?
No, it's not. No, it's not. But I just
Yeah.
remember in like high school, kids were just wearing them to school.
Oh, yeah. That did happen all the time.
Yeah.
Wild.
Yeah.
I mean, high school. There's some weird kids in high
Anything
schools.
goes in high school.
Yeah, but go on over to FOCO. You can buy all sorts of stuff that's branded with your favorite team.
They just sent me a Broncos Hawaiian shirt.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah. So
wow.
there you go.
There you go.
You wearing it on Friday?
Maybe.
There we go.
But yeah, foco.com. There's a link in our description, and you can get 10% off with the code DNVR. So definitely get in on that. Also, as a side note, so the Rockies are, like I said, where'd this go? They're plus 5 something, but against the Dodgers. Okay, I lost it. Damn it! What a waste.
Forget about it.
God damn.
Someone said drop a like if you don't understand Henry's jacket.
I guess
Like what color it is?
I would drop a like to not understanding the comment about not understanding it. It's a pretty
Whoa.
pretty straightforward jacket we
Straight
got here.
jacket.
Just
Wait,
beige.
Yeah, we got a Nike bomber. Yeah, it is straight jacket.
I am not seeing beige. I'm seeing bone.
I'm seeing bone as well.
Okay, I didn't know the bone was a color, so
Yeah, cream
Yeah,
bone.
but I mean, there's literally I really like the jacket, Henry.
Oh,
by
thank
the
you.
way,
Yeah.
but when I say this, it's not a bad thing because I would want that jacket. There's nothing to it. Like, what is
Yeah.
there to not understand?
that's the thing. There's a little Nike logo.
Yeah, that's it.
You can't see that on the live because of the lights.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's a nice jacket.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, I told Henry before I've been wanting one similar.
Damn,
It's like
you
a-
both are wearing bomber jackets.
It reminds me of Heisenberg. He always had like this sort of jacket, you know?
That's not a good.
No, like I swear, like it just there's a reason for like the last 40 years. There's like a generation of man who's just been in love with this jacket.
It's true. It's very
Like
true.
it's-
On camera, it does look a little goldish.
It does.
Yeah, it does look gold.
Oh,
It does
really?
Look gold.
Huh.
Little
No,
shiny.
it's just
It-
beige.
It does. People are talking about like what the material is.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know
Just
what the word is for
windbreaker.
that.
Yeah.
Windbreaker material.
Yeah. Windbreaker khaki mix.
Is this what polyester is?
Oh, it could be.
No
This
idea.
might be what polyester is.
I don't.
Okay.
Jacket, let's find out. It should say the tag.
There's no way you could see that.
Yeah.
Made in Vietnam. It's a medium, and it doesn't say on that tag.
Dang.
Nike.
We'll need a report later, Henry.
All right.
Okay, one more person we got to talk about.
What was your tease again? It was so long ago.
The tease was this person I really want to get your guys' opinion on. Henry, no offense to you, but specifically Ryan's opinion.
Let's go.
Brandon McManus.
Oh.
$5 million cap hit, $2.5 million in dead money. So you save $2.5 million.
See this?
You cutting him?
No.
What? Oh.
It stands for pay cut.
Oh, wow. Oh,
I
I
went
thought
like this.
could have been
People
chopping
can see it.
something else.
We're going for a pay cut here.
Okay.
Look, no one. Actually, there is one person who's harder on Brandon McManus than me.
Yeah.
But you can't go into kicker purgatory. Quarterback purgatory is a terrible place to be. Kicker purgatory is also a really awful place to be. So, Brandon McManus has a solid track record. He also was arguably the worst kicker in the NFL last year.
He had the worst percentage in the entire NFL last year.
That's the tough part.
And that is your ammo for getting him to take a pay cut. I would rather bring back Brandon McManus than have to just do the thing where you sign a new guy until you finally, the Chargers got lucky. They got Dicker the kicker, and he ended up being good. But, they've just been trading guys in and out for so long. You don't want to be there. So bring back Brandon McManus. What is it? 50 or you said $5 million next year?
Yep.
Bring him back for 2.5.
That's the pay cut. That's what it would be. So do you think he would accept that? Because he knows the Broncos would just have to cut him if they want to get rid of $2.5 million.
I think he accepts it.
Man, I mean, if you do that, I definitely do it. Ryan, here's an argument that you are set up in the best position ever to go find a kicker.
True.
You've got Mike Westhoff in the building.
People call him the Hoff.
The Hoff. Or the Hawk, Mike the Hawk, to go find you a kicker, to go poach one from another
boy.
team or from the college ranks. If you're ever going to be able to do it, it would be now.
Why?
Because you got Mike Westhoff.
Yeah, that doesn't help me.
No, it doesn't. He helped who is the special teams coordinator? His name's Ben Kotwika.
Yep.
He helped resurrect Younghoe Koo.
Yep, that's true.
So those two guys together, if you're ever going to find a young guy, it'd be now.
This actually seems like a really good reason why the Broncos are going to do it and regret it.
Oh, because they're
Yeah.
gonna think they can do it.
Yep. Oh, we'll just find a new one. Famous last words.
You've
Definitely.
got no confidence in the Hawk.
I don't. Yeah, I don't. And I also don't have any confidence in Brandon McManus. It's a bad place to be.
Yeah.
That is a bad place to be.
He's absolutely not taking a pay cut though. Like right now,
don't
his cap
think
hit's
so.
the 7th highest in the NFL. He would say, "Cut me, and I'll potentially go make more money." Like I know the percentage was bad last year, but there were some long kicks in there. He can blame the blocks, and then there's always that
He's to
debate.
blame for the block.
That's what I was just saying. And then there's that debate: did he kick it too low?
Yeah,
did
they were chip shots.
Okay, there you go.
Normal kickers don't get chip shots blocked.
Yeah, Jose's saying that Hackett put McManus in a couple bad situations. Obviously, the 64-yarder week 1 was a tough situation, but where he missed his kicks were within the 40. Those weren't bad situations. So, Jose, I agree there were maybe 2 long kicks that you don't really blame McManus for, and you take that out, and maybe he doesn't have the worst field goal percentage. But, I mean, he still missed way too many within 50.
6
Also
of 7
missed
from 20
2
to
extra points that ended up being like looming large in those games.
Yep.
It's true.
6 of 7 from 20 to 29. That was one of the blocks.
Yep.
Yep. He
And
was.
that's on the kicker. You got to get it higher.
If you guys say so, I trust you. I don't know about that.
I lived with a punter for 3 years, so
There you
an
go.
expert.
an expert.
There you go. 4 of 6 from 30 to 39, 10 of 10, 40 to 49, 8 of 13, 50 plus. Like I still think there's no way he's taking a pay cut. If you move on from him,
I agree with you. I don't think he's taking
yeah.
a pay
And
cut.
I think
I think he is.
If he no way.
Yeah.
He's going to easily make $5 million on the open market.
Does
Like
he
he's a
wanna-
proven kicker.
Does he want to do it in Detroit?
I mean, I guess if he just wants to stay in Denver, there's a chance. He's not a kicker who's at a place in his career who needs to take a pay cut though.
Brandon McManus is a very, very confident human being. I think it's tough to get pay cuts from very, very confident humans.
He's also like the NFLPA rep
Yeah,
on the Broncos,
it's true.
which probably
It's true.
doesn't help.
Yeah.
I think he takes it.
As Vic says, pay cut or McMinus.
McMinus a few
Yeah.
dollars off that salary.
I think what you do is you go and you find like a rookie to come in and compete, and you hope that he's good enough that you can justify giving the job. I think if you give him the
Worked out
job, you're
great
probably
for the
upset
punter
you did.
position last year.
Exactly. Like you has to be better. But you look through the kickers that you could get, like just cap hit wise, like 2.3 is Joey Sly, 2 million Zane Gonzalez. Tyler Bass, I guess, is still under control. All the other guys are under team control.
Go
Like,
find a rookie. Yeah, that's what it has to be.
Yeah.
Robbie Gold.
And hope that he beats him out. The thing is, if you get rid of
Yeah.
McManus, I am willing to bet a pizza bet that the kicker that you get is going to wind up with a worse percentage than Brandon McManus does next year.
Brandon was the
Ooh.
worst in the NFL
I want
last
that
year.
Last year.
I
I'm
want
talking
that
about
pizza
next year
bet.
though.
Oh, like
Yeah.
McManus ends up having a better. Gotcha.
I'm in.
You will.
Oh,
Okay.
there we
They
go.
get rid of
Love it.
McManus. McManus has a better percentage than his replacement in Denver.
Speaking
Okay.
of, you mentioned.
If there's multiple replacements, do we average out the season?
Season number.
oh,
Yeah.
but you're toast if that's the case then.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Unless there's an injury there.
He's just paid the market rate for a veteran kicker.
You mentioned Robbie Gold. That's a name who's going to hit the open
Also,
market.
wouldn't he want to come to Denver because he's getting older, losing a little distance?
It's true. That would help. Speaking of Robbies, did you know that Robbie Anderson changed his name?
Chosen.
Yeah. How about that?
Yeah,
And now
I
he's
didn't
going to
hear
be
that.
able to chosen his next team because the Cardinals are releasing him.
You're so close to nailing that.
What should I have said?
And his next team will be chosen freely.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
You almost had it.
Yeah, so
Yeah. I
close.
almost had it. That's what I'm always told. Just so close.
Could be an option for the Broncos. They need a field stretcher.
Man, the turmoil he's been going through the past 6 months is something that would concern me.
What's that?
Didn't he force his way out of Carolina, or like he said,
think
I'm not playing for the new interim head? There was something weird
There was
where it was like
something.
really bad.
It might
You'd
have
say
even
you
been
don't
like a
the
slot
decisions that
receiver
he's
thing.
chosen?
Oh boy.
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
that's probably it. You're
All
right.
right.
I was gonna say, can I Anderson my way into that or anything, and I couldn't. No. I
Yeah.
couldn't. Okay, that's it for offense. We'll talk about defensive guys later this week because there's also some decisions there. But I know we have some super chats. Should we talk to the people?
Ooh, $10 super chat.
Jackson
Ooh.
coming in with the big one. Thank you guys and the team for these amazing pods every day. Moving to Castle Rock next year from Utah. Go Utes. Sorry, not sorry, Ryan.
I don't care
Can't
about
wait
the
to
Utes at
meet
all.
you
Nobody
gents
cares.
at the Utah or at the DNVR bar. Hashtag Buckham.
Welcome.
Maybe it's because you were taking a shot at Utah earlier. The University
No.
of Utah.
It could be.
Oh, okay, it did. Well, we really appreciate that. We can't wait to see you here.
Yeah, Utah. I wish I had feelings about them.
Yeah,
Yep.
easy flyover state.
Wow. It's actually a beautiful
Disagree?
place.
It is, yeah. It really is.
It's like Colorado's lame cousin.
Well, if you're gonna put it like that, then I'm gonna say flyover state. Yeah.
I don't mean lame in terms of like, you just have that cousin who's kind of weird.
Yeah.
That's what Utah is.
There you go. Chance Manning just gives us a super chat. Thank you, Chance.
Thank you, Chance.
Love ya. A Manning dropping in the comment section. Love it. And Rickert says the free agency linebacker group looks stacked. Is there any free agent linebackers you guys would like to see signed?
It is stacked. I mean, there's options. Like I know we've all been team bring back Alex Singleton, but if they want a guy who can play man coverage, go up against tight ends, those options are definitely out there. And this is kind of the first off season in a long time. Everybody hasn't been saying go get a linebacker, and it's mostly because there's just clear issues on offense. But you could go get, Zach Cunningham, Deion Jones, Levante David, Devin Bush is kind of been labeled a bust and is pretty attainable. Tremaine Edmonds is out there. Some more veteran guys too. Alex Anzalone, a guy who played for Sean Payton, could be a good fit. Quan Alexander played for him as well. I mean, there's a lot of guys who will vary in price, and you can kind of get whatever you're looking for.
I've got another Devin that's a linebacker that was in the same draft class as Devin Bush that could be available. Devin White
Yep.
this morning posted thank you on his Instagram with the pirate flag emoji with a peace out sign, and said 4-year went by fast. So he may be a cap casualty,
Did they
or
not take the 5th-year option on him?
or they're trying to trade him. I don't know. He's looking for an extension, so maybe he is under contract right now, and they're gonna trade him or something. So I mean, you mentioned tons of names. There's a lot of different types of players, but I think one of the reasons we all like Alex Singleton is he's a really solid player that is going to be affordable. Maybe his price gets dropped even more by so many other guys being on the market.
Yeah,
It's very possible.
definitely. And again, like Devin Bush, a guy people were really excited about. Spot Rack has him estimated at getting a $3 million a year contract.
Oh my god.
Wow.
Pro Football Focus doesn't have him in the top 100, so he isn't even they don't even have a projected contract.
Wow.
So there really are a lot of guys out there. We all like Alex, and he played really well. He does a little bit of everything. It would make a lot of sense to bring him back and not fix something that's not broken. They have a lot of decisions to make.
Yeah.
Bringing in Devin Bush, not against it. Bringing in Devin Bush instead of bringing back Alex Singleton, I am against it.
Oh.
That is a unnecessary risk.
How much would you be willing to pay the two combined? Like, how do you make it work
6?
to bring them both back? 3 and 3
No, it's like 4 and 2.
for Alex.
4 for Alex.
Wow. Man, that inside linebacker position, if you find a good one, you feel so good. But if you don't, then you can find guys. Just like the Broncos found Alex Singleton last year for a
Imagine
mil.
taking a linebacker at 10 and then being a bust.
And trading up for him,
Yeah.
too.
That is so bad.
Yikes. I mean, they could have had Drew Lock.
Because I'm higher on the value of the linebacker position than most, I think. And even I'm like, okay, if you're gonna take a linebacker, an inside linebacker in the first round, he has to be a knock it out of the ballpark player.
Yep,
Yeah.
absolutely.
The flip side of it is, though, one of the things Josie does really well is he lines everybody up. He tells them where to go. He does all that sort of stuff. And that's what's missing for Devin Bush. Like, he's been fine in coverage. He only missed 3 tackles, made 57 this season, which is a pretty ridiculous
How did
number.
he only make 57 tackles.
He was
Who are you talking about?
Devin Bush. He only played 5 snaps in each of the last 2 games. Like, he was essentially benched. But again, you put him next to a Josie Jewell who says, this is your gap. go to this gap, or who knows how exactly the front's going to work, but that could unlock another level. And I mean, he's a few months away from turning 25. Or you go get Tremaine Edmonds and also get Terrell Edmonds, who's also a free agent from the Steelers.
That'd be sick.
A hybrid type player. He could easily be your tight end eraser. I mean, there's a lot of different routes that they could choose to go this offseason. Huh. There's a lot of good players. Linebackers don't get paid a lot.
I hate both of those routes you said.
Really?
Too much on defense.
Yeah,
Too much
true.
on defense.
I'm so in on the Edmonds brothers.
Man, that'd be great. You know what I'm in on? The comment section on the website. Should we hit a couple of those really quick?
Super chat real quick from Dustin. 22 in Blues got me wondering, could the ownership group ever be persuaded to make the Blues primary again? I think Broncos Country would all love it. I think they're just going to change the uniforms before they do anything like that, but it's possible that they do that. I just disagree with your last sentence, which I think Broncos Country would all love it. Definitely not. I am Team Blue, just because I think it looks better. But then a lot of people in Broncos Country don't like it because they think that people will stop wearing orange to the stadium.
Yeah.
Which I find to be odd. Like,
No.
just tell everyone to wear orange to the stadium.
They aren't going to listen. Like, you buy the jersey that they wear. You know, everybody wears their jersey right now. When you sell orange jerseys, you wind up with a bunch of orange jerseys.
But when the orange were the alternate, people still bought them.
Yeah, but not as many. Like, you can go back and look, and it's not nearly as orange as it is now.
Funny, when they were doing the orange as the alternate, like originally, I'm remembering like Clinton Portis wearing it, and like I thought that was the coolest thing.
Yeah.
And then now I look at the orange and they don't do much. For
No.
me.
Like, I still like just blue jerseys. You throw the blue pants on when you're in prime time. It just pops under the lights. And that, I don't know. The best answer is to go and find a way to remix the 80s jerseys. But if that was the temporary solution, I would love it.
Man, really quick on a different note. If you get both Edmonds, don't y'all also have to keep Chase?
No.
You can't be getting rid of. You can't be getting your Edmonds in order to get Edmonds.
I think those guys aren't related, so it's fine.
Okay, it's fine.
Yep.
So the count on the comment section says, rainy days and Mondays always get me down. Love the count. Hope this pod's brought you up.
Yes.
Yeah.
Next one from Nash Bronco says, love the format of Friday's pod. I'm not sure why you guys appointed a Chiefs fan as a hypothetical GM, but other than that, what a great pod. My question for today, no wonder he was giving out so many good deals to Broncos players, or big deals, I should say. My question for today, could you guys see Sean Payton grabbing Deuce Vaughn in the draft? He's the shortest player to ever attempt the combine, but his tape is insane. Darren Sproles Jr., perhaps?
Yeah.
Same school and everything. I am so in on Deuce Vaughn.
What did he actually check in at the
5'5".
combine?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
I mean, he's a player, and but where's he gonna be drafted?
I mean, he's 5'5". Not early.
Late.
Yeah. I mean, he's one of those guys like 5th round, maybe 6th round. Yeah. Dre says, yeah, he would know.
Man, you get Derrick Henry and Deuce Vaughn.
That's my plan.
That's what you said. I love it, Ryan. I love it.
Bring back Edmonds too, and that's kind of perfect.
And it costs
With
you
Javonte.
Okay, so it costs you 2 third-round picks and a 5th-round pick and $10 million in cap space.
I think it's only one for Henry.
Somebody's
You
got
guys
to give
are
more.
Crazy, yeah.
Like, if we're this excited to give him a third,
then
somebody's
it's
willing to pay more.
It's too easy.
A third and a fifth.
I mean, yeah, I'm so down.
Yeah,
Sign
don't
me
convince
up.
me. Yeah.
Arvada Luke rounds us out, says, hello, friends. Between friends of the show and Broncos head coach Sean Payton and the report card, I'm guessing there will be a strong emphasis on building up the culture of this team. For that reason, I think that Dalton Risner is a goner come free agency. Just for the sideline outburst alone, do we get any draft comp for losing free agents this year? How big on the splash-o-meter do you think will be in free agency? And if a private jet is a PJ, a Broncos jet is a... No, Zach, don't say it. That would be a BJ, is what he's referring to.
Wow.
So weird.
Man, I feel bad for Dalton Risner.
I know.
That he's such a good dude in the locker room, to media,
The
off
Walter
the
Payton
field.
Man of the Year
Walter
candidate.
Payton Man of the Year, charitable, and he has one really bad moment, and it was a really bad moment caught on camera, and now people are saying that if they want to change the culture, you've got to get rid of Dalton. That's tough.
That's a twist.
Dalton Risner's outburst was like a moment of passion in a game where they were getting their asses beat, and
You still can't do it.
and it was written off by everyone afterwards.
Yeah. But a lot of people don't know the details. And this thing went around, like I told you, what one of the national media people that wrote about all the free agents said, you probably know Dalton Reisner by pushing Brett Rippon on the sideline. He actually can play guard as well. Like, that's how people know Dalton Reisner.
Yeah.
Which
It's
is
true.
crazy, and it sucks for him because he's such
Yep.
a good guy.
It's honestly bullshit.
Yeah.
It is.
He's a really good dude.
He is.
And
He did also, like, it's not like, oh no, poor Dalton. He was the one who pushed the guy.
No,
like
definitely,
that is the
definitely.
result of that action when you're an
Push
offensive
a
lineman.
guy.
Yeah, and
Listen
when
to what we're saying. Here.
yes, but exactly, but nobody has ever talked about Dalton Reisner before. Before other teams are like, oh, the Colts need another guard. Huh? Who's this Dalton Reisner guy? You need to know there is only one way your name gets known, basically, and that's if you do something dumb like that. Like, he did it to himself. I can't feel too bad for him.
Yeah, I think this is crazy that it's even like a talking point. He didn't punch anyone. He didn't
Yeah.
get in a brawl. He
Yeah.
literally shoved a player in a moment of passion.
Well, and
And I guess, I mean-
also hurts that it's a quarterback. Even if it's not the starter, it's you pushed your quarterback. You pushed the quarterback
Yeah.
on your team.
And I mean, you could also go a little deeper and say he also didn't pick Russell Wilson up after he was sacked. Like, that was what started the whole thing, you know?
I'm just saying, what a rotten
Yep.
deal for Dalton.
That is a
but
rotten deal.
like Hank said, he did it to himself.
But it's
Uh-huh.
weird. Like, I think you're right about this. And the responses to DNVR Broncos and anything involving Dalton Reisner are all so negative.
yeah.
Yeah,
And I think that played a role in it.
absolutely. Yeah. Also, somebody in the comments said Cortland Sutton. We didn't talk about him today. You save $7 million if you trade him. Just real quick, I wouldn't do that because after this season, like I say, you just pick up Jerry's fifth-year option. Then after this season, you can save 13 getting rid of Jerry. You can save 11 getting rid of Tim Patrick, or you can save 10 getting rid of Cortland, and you just kind of make a decision at that point.
Also, you'd lose money by cutting him.
Yeah, which wouldn't be. You wouldn't think they would consider that.
Correct. No.
Yeah.
But we pretty much hit on all of the big guys in terms of money you could
Yeah.
save on the offensive side. So that if you want to save money,
Yeah.
those are them.
A lot of options and places where you can definitely save.
Yeah,
The
absolutely.
one I definitely would not do is Garett Bolles.
Unless
I mean, he would be a trade anyway. So
Yeah.
the question: would you get rid of him for nothing, or just for the $10 million? It doesn't even matter because somebody's giving you something for him.
you can get both McGlinchey and McGarry.
What about
Or
Bolles
Brown.
in a Derrick Henry deal?
Oh, just straight up.
No.
Who's getting more?
The Broncos are getting more. Starting left tackle,
Get
especially.
the hell out of
Yeah,
here.
when-
And they just lost Taylor Lewan.
Get
I mean-
out of here.
Oh yeah, definitely.
No, you're out of your mind. But again, I don't think Henry's going to go for a third. Henry's going to go for a late 1 or a 2.
I think so too. Let me just check real quick.
No way would the Broncos get more. You get Derrick Henry and like a 4th for Garett Bolles. Run to the fax machine to send this over.
Bolles is older, so Bolles
That's insane.
Bolles would cost 14 then 16. So I would have thought he would have been cheaper than that. So maybe it is. Honestly, you might be pretty close to even.
That would be ridiculous.
A team
if you
paying
could do
14
that.
million, then 16 million. And
My
that's the other thing
goodness.
is you save 16 if you get rid of him after next year. And I think that's when you have the real conversation.
Man, lots of conversations we had today. I love it.
Well,
2 years, 15 million
if
for
the
Garrett.
Broncos backfield is anything but Derrick Henry and Deuce Vaughn, I'm going to be pissed.
Ryan, you're going to be
Oh,
pissed.
boy.
And let's hope one of us doesn't get cut before tomorrow's pod.
Wait, what?
I don't know.
Whoa.
We'll see.
Could be possible.
Whoa.
All right. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. Let's see that race to 1,000 reviews on Spotify
go.
and Apple. I think Spotify is going to get it. Just saying.
Oh, you
Even
like
with
the underdog,
100
huh?
yeah,
You like the
underdog.
5-5 guy.
Yep, I do.
I feel like our listeners are like 5-1 Apple to Spotify, though.
We'll see.
Yeah. They should. They have
challenging.
an advantage.
Let's
All right.
go, baby.
We'll talk to you guys tomorrow.